Hi, it's Tim from Toy Tinker Tim. In this episode, I'm restoring a vintage 1970s G.I. Joe Adventure Team deep sea diver suit and repairing the diver belt with a broken connection tab. The white diver suit's inner rubberized lining is long gone. The suit is very dingy, yellowed, stained. It's got this pretty much throughout it. There aren't any holes. The wrist and ankle elastic is still holding. Even the collar elastic has some holding power as well. So to address the fabric issues here, I've got about 3 cups of very warm water. Probably about 2 tablespoons of liquid laundry detergent. It really clings to the plastic, so I'm making sure to wash out as much as I can into the water. And to help power this up even more, I'm adding about half a cup here. It's distilled white vinegar. Now I'll just thoroughly work the outfit into the solution. I'll let this sit and soak now for about 45 minutes. I can still see discoloration in the fabric, so I'm adding some bleach. It's about 30 milliliters to the solution. This will soak now for 30 minutes. And too much bleach or too long and the elastic could be damaged. So after thoroughly rinsing this in some cold water and air drying the suit, it comes out visually much better. There's a dark mark where the original Adventure Team decal was on the suit. But overall now it's a lot more displayable. It looks a lot healthier. It still carries some of the character of it as a vintage item. The elastic hasn't been damaged, so it's still flexing and holding. The diving belt here, it's a later version. There's only the metal weights here that are located on the front. The side rear ones are just molded in plastic. So a major problem with the function and approach to repair is this broken off missing tab. Without this tab, the belt can be fastened, but then it also puts more stress on the other remaining tab. It increases the wear and potential to break that one off as well. So the material is obviously flexible, so the repair will need to be flexible. Besides just making the repair, I'm going to have to duplicate a new tab. So my first step will be to clean and remove any dirt or oil from the surface uh, before working on the repair. And I'm using rubbing alcohol on a cotton swab. So the material I'll be using to recreate this tab on the belt with is called, commonly, it's friendly plastic, pellets. So these pellets soften up in water. They're recommending 120 degree Fahrenheit, but I've found 140 to about 150 Fahrenheit is what works best. So I've tried to tint this plastic with a pigment like this Mix-All Black. However, that seemed to make the plastic like thready and unusable. Instead, I found acrylic paint to be an excellent mix-in to tint the plastic. You can get a good look here and see how the plastic pellets go clear when they've been heated and they're ready to work with. First, I'm just working it all together to a uniform consistency. And then I'm going to dunk it back into the heated water to make sure it's good and flexible for my coloring step. Oh, unfortunately, I'm sorry, just out of camera range here. I'm squirting just a dab. It's between a quarter-inch, less than half an inch long spot of the black acrylic paint onto the plastic material here now. And then I'm kneading it all, working that, squeezing it together. After I've gotten it re-softened again, I'm pressing it in and around the belt here. I'm just kind of working around with it, wanting to see how my color match is coming. This plastic is too elastic to just simply sculpt it into a more tight, defined shape. Because of the elastic state of the plastic material, I can't really sculpt in sharp detail into this. So I'm making a push mold copy with Sculpey, which is a polymer clay. It has to be kneaded to make it workable. It doesn't air dry. It has to be heated to cure. So what I'm doing is pushing this onto the good peg to make a copy of it for my mold. I'll carefully lift it off to keep detail, and like the TV cooking shows, I have a copy here that's already been heated. It's cured. It's shiny because I applied a mold release to it, so the plastic won't stick. Actually found as I worked with plastic after it was tinted that there was not any more black paint or residue coming off of it. Now I'll reheat the plastic that's already been colored with the black acrylic paint from earlier, and then once it's softened, I just press it into the push mold. After this plastic is cooled, I simply pull it out. I now have a base shape here to work with. I can cut and trim this pretty easily with a sharp utility knife. What's also nice is the trimming pieces that I take off here can simply be heated and put back together, worked up together, and I've got it saved now for any other future needs. After trimming down on the piece, I'm using this Loctite Super Glue Ultra Gel to attach it. This dries, it sets up after 24 hours to a flexible hold, which is what I'm needing since this is primarily a flexible piece. "24 hours later and it's bonded, and time to work with here to refine it further with some heated tools. An alcohol lamp would be great for this. It would get away from some of the soot from the candle use, but I'm working with what I currently have. My goal here is to further define the tab surface. I want to elongate it, bring it up even with the original tab that's still in place. Make sure the top of the tab is in line with the connector opening. It takes time and patience, but the repair is worth it. I intend it to be repaired once. It should match up and not cause any further damage because of a bad fit. This plastic material I'm using doesn't sand well at all, so shaping and smoothing really has to come from heated tools and surfaces. You can see here now there's a good fit, and I'm definitely carefully pulling it apart at the closure, not just because of the sake of the repair, but really for the sake to prevent additional wear of the still intact original tab. So now with the weight belt and the suit restored to a nice functionality and display quality, I'm able to keep the value to this vintage G.I. Joe Adventure Team collectible. That's a wrap for this episode. Hopefully you learned some more about some other materials that you could use if this isn't directly applying to a repair you need to make. You might get the ideas there for how you can work it in for other projects that you have. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Be sure and share this with others that you know are working on projects that you think this might be helpful to them. And thanks for watching.